I'm curious to see if they can do it. So let's go ahead and talk about what they have in their lineup available. Jackie Chan has the Rogue, Kripparrian has the Druid, and Firebed has the Paladin.
Yeah, well, Kranich will be playing his Warrior, Reyna playing Paladin, and Pathrep playing Rogue. The way these classes got set, each of the teams had to divide all 9 classes in groups of 3 between the players. They had to decide which of the various formats they wanted to assign that class to. So we've seen the wild decks, we've seen some of the standard decks. We're going to finish out standard here before we move on to Excavated Treasures, which is a new format in the next round.
The first match that we'll have from the Grimestreet Grifters. I've read that name 5 times in my head by now. I keep wanting to say Grimestreet Groons because that's what the tribe is from Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. Kranich will be leading that. And he has a warrior deck. What is it going to be? We've seen a couple of variations of this, so it might seem a little familiar, but it is the modern-day version of the Pirate Warrior with Prince Keleseth largely replacing a lot of the 2-mana cards because of the nerf to Fiery War Axe and what it did consequently. Yeah,
this is pretty much straight-up aggro Pirate Warrior here. Does have the high end of Bitter Dad Hydra, Leroy Jenkins we see on the screen there. The twist, of course, the Prince Keleseth. Since the nerf to Fiery War Axe, a lot of players have chosen to switch to playing into the Keleseth, which gives you the ability to have those buffed minions later on in the game.
And representing the Jungle Giants, but of course it's a team effort, is Jackie Chan. He'll be playing the Rogue. Now, Rogue has definitely had some powerful decks in Standard, and primarily through the nerf of Fiery War Axe and a couple other cards as well, Hex being one of them. We've got to see Rogue really come to the limelight here. And this kind of version of the Rogue is a little bit old school. We have the Prince of Alinar, which is actually completes our set of princes from Knights of the Frozen Throne's appearance. And it's a pretty underrated card, in my opinion.
I do think it's really funny how when Knights of the Frozen Throne is first revealed, people were talking about, oh, I really hope I don't open any of the princes. And now you see every prince being played in competitive decks in some capacity. 2 of them in this particular deck.
Yeah, they call it Royalty Rogue or Prince Rogue. It depends on however you want to cut it. But the most important thing is the tempo it wants to generate. And in true Hearthstone Invitational fashion, the team that's on the coin gets patches in their opening hand will probably mulligan for a different card here.
All right, well, this is a very fast and furious matchup. Both of these decks are looking to get in the board quickly, get their aggression going. Pretty weak opening after the mulligan for Grimestreet Grifters here. No 1-drop and no Prince Keleseth. You can say, oh, no 1 or 2-drop. Well, you're pretty unlikely to have a 2-drop in a deck that only has Keleseth.
Right. So Grimestreet Grifters will try to see if they can explode in the mid stages of the game, while the Jungle Giants, they have the ability to explode like crazy at all stages of the game, primarily because of how strong Prince Keleseth is early and how they can scale into the late game with Bone Maker.
Well, speaking of bad opening hands, the Pirate Warrior deck just drew patches on turn 1. Oftentimes when you're playing a deck that has a couple of pirates, you draw your patches before you play a pirate. It's like, oh, okay, that's going to happen every now and then. But when most of your minions are pirates, it's a little bit worse. Let's hear what Grimestreet Grifters are going to say about the misfortune.
Get information. If it's Pirate Warrior, it should kind of make it known like now.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
It could be Control Warrior. I'm scared.
I don't think we're that scared of Control Warrior.
We don't have Karen, so we're a little worse against it, but we're still just like, most of our cards are minions, and control decks struggle at removing every minion, especially when a lot of our minions hit for a lot of damage. So if they leave something up, we'll always have burst potential. Like, it should be fine. Control Warrior is like a tier 4 deck on ladder, so it would be very odd if that's their deck.
Tier 4, that's pretty generous.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Upgrade Southsea, Trade Southsea, Save the Charge. But, yeah, I agree with Hero Power. Do you guys want a Hero Power?
Yeah, we're not going to play Cultist
I feel like Hero Power, yeah. Also, even though you're playing like Upgrade next turn, then probably you can just keep all the
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure. This is too bad.
It's too bad.
I'm not worried.
Well, it looks like Grimestreet Grifters, their morale's a little low. You know, drawing patches, we kind of talk about how devastating it is. They're trying to see the silver light, though. One of the things that Jungle Giants is confused is that if this is Pirate Warrior, this is one of the slowest starts you'll ever see.
One of the things that is true about Pirate Warrior is that it doesn't have to have that blazing start in order to really start taking over the board. If you do get even just a Bloodsteel Cultist on your upgrade, you can start picking away your opponent's minions. If you get more upgrade effects, that Rusty Hook becomes a very scary weapon.
And we're talking about explosive potential with Pirate Warrior, Beardtide Hydra making its way. It can really catch up the deficit in damage that you missed for the first few turns very quickly. And also, I find it kind of amusing that of all people to be looking for the positives in a bad hand, it's Raynat saying, you know what, maybe it's not so bad. And Grant's like, oh no, we're really unlucky.
Honestly, I just wanted to listen to the mulliganing to hear Raynat complain.
You know, at this point, actually, he stops saying things, he just nods very slowly.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Well, more pirates coming in. So here's another thing that has an opportunity for the Pirate Warriors, that sometimes you can go so wide immediately, and because he has a lot of chargers, maybe some ways to pick apart the board with upgrade weapons and hit soft or smaller minions. Rogue can't deal with a very wide board as easily without a lot of big tempo cards like Backstab, SI.
And the Jungle Giants, you see them laughing and celebrating over the fact that, oh yeah, you are Pirate Warrior, your draw stinks, and you did not get Patches out of your deck.
Yeah, they know Patches is in the hand, so they're kind of chuckling. Things are coming up Millhouse here for Jungle Giants so far. Now, the thing about Jungle Giants is that they have a lot of small things, and that's okay for now. The real power of the Rogue, though, is when you start hitting things such as the Vile Spine Slayer, when you start setting up for Bone Mares, or even bigger swings than that. You can close out with big bursts. You saw a Cold Blood attached to Elemental, for example, but you have Leroy Jenkins as well. So there's a lot of game-ending opportunities for this Rogue deck, too.
And also, as we mentioned, the Rogue deck does not necessarily deal with wide boards all that well. Neither does the Warrior. Yep. The Warrior, especially when you get to the mid-game, is using big swings like the Bittertide Hydra, which against a bunch of small minions can really be dangerous because you take so much damage from them all attacking in.
I mean, look, how many times have we seen this before where Bittertide Hydra comes on a wide board and it's like, well, I have an 8-8, but my opponent just kills me because he deals 12 damage by trading 4 of his minions on the board. And look at the pressure coming out from Jungle Giants. I like it. Trying to take advantage of the fact that it's very obvious your opponent's saving Patches for some reason. Your opponent didn't play Patches when they had 1 mana left, didn't have a good trade. They have to be setting up for a 3-mana pirate with it.
And now Grimestreet Grifters, they have the opportunity to play the Patches plus Bloodsteel Cultist to guarantee that upgrade, which will allow them extra swings with this weapon. But these are all 1 health minions anyway, so the upgraded attack doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that the Pirate Warrior usually hates its hero power in so many cases. When Sir Finley Murgleton was available through League of Explorers, they put it in the deck so they can replace it because literally anything was better than the Warrior hero power. But maybe in this scenario, they might want to start utilizing that later in stages of the game. This is not what you want to see if you're Jungle Giants, though. Double backstab. So they have great tempo turns, again, maybe for 1 or 2 more turns. But if they whiff again, the momentum's going to turn against them because they don't really have much substance past these 2 minions here.
Well, they seem to be debating exactly how to navigate this. Let's hear what they have to say.
I don't think so, yeah.
Oh, really?
We're never trading the Elemental in because of South Sea Captain, right?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Well, their weapon is always going to be big enough to kill it off. Their Patches is gone. It's a valid point.
Yeah. I like trading the Patches.
I like the Patches.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to worry about Galaka or something.
Yeah.
It's like the amount of advantage we get for a buff from our captain isn't worth the risk of them running a Galaka. Even though running their Galaka is unlikely, I like our position.
Very likely here we get Korkroned.
Yes.
Which might be unfortunate if we draw badly.
I mean, most of our deck is good.
We are out of stuff.
We just need not Shadow
some
Step.
Scale Beans. Yeah, not Shadow Step.
This is good. This is very good.
Yeah.
3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 15. We're 3 off lethal.
Damn it.
We would have got the cut.
Okay. So.
Backstab SI, everything face.
Yeah. Even the 1/2.
Even the 1/2.
I mean, he can kill the 1/2 with his weapon.
I mean, all right,
wait, we can get him to 2 if we attack into the Hydra.
With everything?
With everything.
I don't
get
think
him to 2 HP.
You want to hit weapon into the Hydra as well?
Well, that makes it so he can't weapon into the guy no matter what. He can't even armor up and weapon if we get him to 2.
All right, so we backstab SI and then face tank the Hydra?
Yeah. We just dunk everything in the Hydra. He has to armor up to use the Hydra.
This guy's tough.
It's a little scary if he can like Korkron our thing, but like we get heal on the table, so
4 to the face. Oh, you want to hit the hit with that weapon?
Yeah.
Yeah, weapon that Hydra. Let's get
sick.
there. 4 goes to the face every time.
Yeah.
Now this 1-2, do we trade or send it face?
I think we send it in. Send it in the A3. Yeah.
A3, yeah.
Nice.
He has the armor up to use the Hydra, and he can't use the weapon.
Yeah. I dig it.
That hurts. That's a lot of damage from that Hydra.
And we're talking about that even just a couple turns ago. Beer-Tide Hydra, fantastic if you're able to win the board, but Pirate Warrior was passing for the first couple turns of the game, and now it's the downside of you playing this 5-mana 8/8 Hydra has bitten Grimestreet Grifters to the point of no return.
And we also saw the value in part of the Prince Valinor there. They're able to just use their hero power very recklessly, punching into the Hydra, and there we see the Grifters go out in style, hitting the Valinor and just getting themselves killed by the Hydra.
And I love this spot from Kripparri just saying, you know what? Just kind of force the issue there. Don't even give them a single opportunity to swing the board and maybe hide behind a couple of Dread Corsairs, maybe taunts, and then lock us out of the game with like a big giant minion. Don't even give them an opportunity to really utilize their weapon in any capacity. So great teamwork coming out from Jungle Giants. And it seems like the rich are getting richer as Jungle Giants is one game deeper into securing a spot for day number 2.
Yeah, they are currently the only team outside of the Chillblade Crusaders to have picked up a win. They have 1 treasure so far and shooting to get their second one in this match.
All right, well, if you're not familiar with the Jungle Giants, we have a little piece to get to know them a little bit better.
Well met.
My name is Firebat. I'm 21 years old, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
My name is Crip. I'm 30, and I live in Toronto, Canada.
My name is Jackie. I'm 22, and I'm from Nottingham in England.
I play Hearthstone 5 hours a day.
Play Hearthstone 4 to 5 hours a day.
I play Hearthstone too many hours a day.
My favorite thing about Hearthstone is just living in the Warcraft-themed universe while playing just the card game, which, in my opinion, is one of the best types of games that you can play.
My favorite thing about Hearthstone is how easy it is to play. Well, I was trying to go for like you could play it on the go sort of thing. How accessible it is. Yeah, right. When I'm not playing Hearthstone, I'm cooking, hiking, watching TV.
I planted like 40 trees in the last month.
When I'm not playing Hearthstone, I'm sad. I'm wishing I was playing Hearthstone.
One thing I want to see at BlizzCon is the trophy after the Jungle Giants win. We'll do a lot of hoisting. My hoist game is very strong.
I can't wait to see your hoist game.
Man, I love almost everything about that interview. From Firebat talking about his hoisting experience, from Crip apparently saving the planet in his free time. He planted 40 trees in the past month. I didn't even know that.
Planting 40 trees and being vegan. He is.
That's right.
He's the Captain Planet.
See why he didn't make the arena rankings last month, people. All the Crip fans are like, why didn't he make it? It's like, well, too busy, helping the Earth be sustainable. Let's take a look at Crip's deck as he is going to be the next on deck for the Jungle Giants. And this one is kind of a familiar one. You heard Sidon Raven talk about it. Jade Druid was one thing that we expected a lot.
It's going to be planting some trees into his opponents in this match. With the power of Druid. Everyone knows this deck, Jade Druid. If you've been playing on ladder at all in recent months, this is a deck you've run into a lot. Perhaps a little bit less since the changes to Innervate and Spreading Plague, but still exceptionally powerful, able to ramp up to ultimate infestations very easily and just overrun your opponent with Jade Golems.
I am very familiar with that card, and we'll see if, this is an old school battle, Raynad versus Crip. He is going to be representing the Grimestreet Grifters with his Murloc Paladin, a deck that's kind of got forgotten because of Murloc Warrior's change, or nerf rather. Instead of giving +1 health buff as a permanent aura effect, and now only just gives +2 attack. And that discouraged some people from using it, but a very crafty few still realize its potency.
Yeah, Murloc Paladin is a deck that has a lot of potential, especially because of its power against some of the more popular and powerful decks in the standard format, specifically Jade Druid. The changes to Innervate and Spreading Plague in particular have made this matchup, even despite the nerf to War Leader, much more in the favor of the Paladin deck.
All right, so right in the beginning of the game, I want to jump into the communications of the Grimestreet Grifters because they're the ones who have to make a big power play to turn the series and their tournament around.
It's fine, but like just playing.
It's really greedy to ask for something better than that. Like it's like only Rock Pool Hunter. The other 28 cards are worse. I don't know.
Okay. Just keep both.
Safe. Especially since last game we drew patches.
Might make sense.
Okay, this is a curve.
Yeah. Watch him
Wait,
play
did
Blood
it-
Sail go.
Wait, what did they keep?
I don't know. I was watching. Oops.
Oh, I know.
Jade. Jade Druid and...
Playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to.
I think Redemption's usually what I take in this matchup. Do you agree?
Yeah. Other cards are usually here, so Redemption.
Whew. Seems like the morale has definitely dipped to a low here for the Grimestreet Grifters. It doesn't seem like anyone's really energetic. They're kind of keeping their thoughts short and simple, and maybe that's very effective, but at the same time, it seems like they're not communicating nearly as much as definitely Jungle Giants.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of the teams that seem to be a lot more talkative have had a significant amount of success so far in this tournament. And perhaps Grimestreet Grifters, as you mentioned, maybe there's morale's a little bit low. Maybe Reynad is his salt is
it's interesting.
flaking off on them.
It feels like Grimestreet Grifters are kind of dependent on Reynad to be the cheerleader because Kranich seems to be like very neutral to slightly pessimistic, and Pathra is just focused on the game, and Reynad has to be the person bringing up the morale. It's definitely an interesting role reversal.
That is a dynamic that I don't think anyone would have expected.
Yeah, that's definitely the plot twist at the end of this movie. Meanwhile, Jungle, to be fair, also, Grimestreet Grifters didn't really have that fairly complicated of a play. They have two Murlocs they need to coin out and play, and right now it seems like a lot more discussions going on. And let's go ahead and tune in right back and see if they're talking more.
So
I think this is like more likely to be good on average.
Yeah. Kodo is fine. Yeah.
We don't really have a way to do 1 damage anyway. So.
And we also have like no minions, like unless we play like Wall Leader.
If they blossom, I think we Rallying Blade.
I really think they have Wrath and they're saving it for the War Leader.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so do we
Yeah, I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm just
Rallying Blade, and then on turn 4 we could play the Getaway and the War Leader. Okay, would you?
All right, very straightforward now, and I think things are actually shaping up pretty well because Jungle Giants had a little bit of a weak draw. They didn't really have anything on turn 2. They did have stuff to do on turns 1 and 3, but that's not really what you want to be doing. Mind Control Tech is so much better after the Murloc Paladin setting up a big board with Cobalt, Scalebane, and Finges.
Yeah, crucially, Jungle Giants has missed any kind of ramp, so they are playing totally fair with their mana generation this game. Which means,
the travesty.
Yeah, well, which means that when you're going up against a deck that is much more generally efficient than you on the board, it can be very difficult for the Druid to keep up. Grimestreet Grifters now actually has a lot of options this turn. Let's listen in to see how they navigate them.
Really? There's.
I don't know.
Yeah, 1 or 2 drop with Secret, sure. No ramp, dude. Brutal. Kings.
Well, that's a good swipe.
Is it?
No.
No?
It's the best we got. But typically not great.
I don't mind it.
It's better than the alternatives for sure.
I mean, the other alternatives MC to Crawler, but
what is their turn 5 play?
Kings again, probably. That's probably why they weren't happy at the start.
Probably. They have to have like other buffs or something.
They play Scalebane in Murloc Paladin?
Scalebane is sometimes in there with the Curator package, sure. If they play Scalebane, I mean, we played Behemoth. It's not like going wide is going to save us. We need to get a swing out of our cards. We missed ramp. We're in an unfavored position for sure.
Jungle Giants not only paying attention to the game, but also trying to see the body language, right? They said, oh, they must have been unhappy about something. Can we make a read on it? And remember, this is a closed deck list format. In a lot of broadcasts you see, specifically on the Hearthstone Championship Tour, very open deck list. You're able to play around a range and really calculate percentages on things. This is closed deck list, so you can surprise people with packages or maybe not having certain things as a surprise.
Yeah, and we heard Jungle Giants mention, oh, what's their 5-drop going to be? And for Grimestreet Grifters, while Cobalt Scalebane is a very powerful 5-drop in general, it is much more powerful if you already have a board. So the swipe from Jungle Giants last turn ended up making this Scalebane a lot less effective than it otherwise could be, and it sets up a very good Jade Behemoth.
Yeah, Grimestreet Grifters doesn't have the optimal turn 6 play. Usually the Spike Ridge Steed is a really powerful way to cement the board. But without the Skullball Scalebane giving buff, it's pretty much just a very flat vanilla minion. And Grimestreet Grifters will have to decide how they want to pick apart this board and set up for the future turns. Redemption is a pretty powerful tool, specifically against the Druid if they force them to hero power, since they've seen their opponent's inability to Wrath very efficiently. But Jungle Giants did pick up Wrath, so that is an opportunity for them to use their mana, even though, ironically, their hand's pretty awkward.
Yeah, a big point here for Grimestreet Grifters is trying to figure out how to maximize their next turn with Bone Mare, because they want to ensure that they're able to get a Bone Mare target next turn. So here I imagine there's a very good chance that they try and set up secrets to try and maximize that, rather than just trying to punch through this Jade Behemoth, which you can only do pretty inefficiently right now.
Yeah, by not attacking too, you make it really difficult for your opponent to make sure to sequence everything correctly for secrets. They have an opportunity to mess up. And also, you threaten based off the follow-up for Bone Mare, because then you can keep your Cobalt Scalebane alive, and your opponent has a double trade.
Yeah, and this is an awkward situation for Jungle Giants. Trying to navigate against 2 secrets here could be very difficult for them. Let's hear how they try and do it.
Do we want to hero power against Redemption? How much mana
against
do we
Noble
have?
Sack, I mean.
3, 6.
I mean, we can
We
wrap
want to play
the 6-3, right?
We want to Wrath the 6-3. We want to Mind Control Tech, take something, Wrath the 6-3, and play Jade Idol if it's a sack Redemption. So I don't think we always have room to hero power. I don't know. I would send the 3-3 to the face.
Yeah, I think we need to get a move on. Yes? Yep.
Yep, that's what I would do. Not sack.
So it's going to like probably Kodo Redemption?
Could be Kodo Redemption.
Wrath the 6-3.
Wrath the 6-3 for sure. That's the first step. And then we trade with the 3-3.
I like Jade Idol Galaka as well.
Yeah, Jade Idol Galaka, trade with 3-3.
4-4?
Yep, always. Yeah. And then hero power that guy down.
Very nice. Very
Perfectly executed, played around the secrets.
Good job, Papa Crip. Thank you.
My goodness, we have to Bone Mare.
Get to Bone Mare. It's not bad to just Curator.
Wait, we have a conspiration. Curator?
Trader is also fine. You just trade and then...
We lose our board, though. All of it. But then we play these.
That seems quite strong.
Like Curator?
Yeah, because like Bone Mare doesn't do anything. You just like always trade here and then like...
Yeah. We're left with a minion if we Bone Mare, but it's probably not worth...
Yeah. So I feel like Curator is better here.
What do you think, Patrick?
I like the Curator. Wait, but do we...
If we make it a 9, okay, we make it a 9 health, right? We trade, it's at 6 health. He runs 2 dudes in, and we have a 5-5, he has a 3-3. We do the Curator, we're attacking. And then then he full trades. We have nothing, but...
The Bone Mare is better than, yeah.
Like, how about like just this
Vile
one?
Fin Bone Mare next turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this, right? I mean, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Please tell me. Oh, I did put another one in. Nice.
Yeah, sure.
Deck building discovery during the actual gameplay.
Oh, cool. Apparently it's closed deck list to the Grimestreet Grifters as well. Their own deck list. They're not sure.
Oh yeah, I do have another Dragon in my deck.
Please tell me I put
Cool.
2 Cobalt Scalebanes. Oh, classic Raynad. Oh man, and Jungle Giants drew 2 of the best cards in their deck, but like you mentioned, no ramp. They have to wait 2 turns before they even get to play one of those Ultimate Infestations, and by then they might even have time to play the second one. The game could be decided by that time.
Yeah, this is really good news to the Grimestreet Grifters here. They were afraid of their board getting cleared and then Jungle Giants being able to easily develop something threatening. They don't have that. They have a Mind Control Tech hero power as all they have access to this turn because they have 2 10-cost cards in their hand.
Yeah, and this is the power of the Murloc Paladin by putting in things like the Curator. Paladin's not really known as especially mid-range Paladins, don't really have a lot of card draw innately built into them. In the past, they used to rely on very awkward things like the Acolyte of Pain, for example. And so by having things like the Curator, it helps give them sturdy minions that they can reliably draw and continue to pressure their opponents. And now Jungle Giants has the weakest turn that you'll see from a Jade Druid in quite some time here. If they're not playing this micro check, they are full passing on 8 mana. Wow.
And now Grimestreet Grifters, they get to spend the Bone Mare turn they were talking about if they want.
Yes.
Or have, frankly, a lot of other options with a bunch of Murlocs plus the Scalebane and the Megasaur. Let's hear what they're thinking of doing.
Then what do you play like?
Play the
I feel like Cobalt is fine, but like then you just have to like overextend here. So.
What do you mean overextend?
I mean like.
For Plague, right? That's
yeah,
bad for Plague.
Because of Plague.
Well, we're gonna have 3 minions, and 2 of them are gonna have a lot of attack.
Okay, so then Cobalt and what? Like
Galaka and Vilefin.
Yeah, sure. Seems fine. Because like those minions are like buffed. Then yeah.
We could also just only play Galaka. It's better against Spreading Plague.
I think we
I'm gonna
just have to play all 3, yeah.
I mean, like, it'll be fine because we also have, like, Bone Mare, and then probably you can just play Megasaur next turns. I mean, like, anyways, you can just buff, like, minions and then, like, kill plagues.
So which one are we buffing with the Bone Mare?
Depends on what he does. I mean, I think they are going to play their Plague.
Oh, yeah, MC Tech would have been sick.
Never mind. I mean, it's the only option, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play from Jungle Giants, pretty straightforward when your hand costs 31 mana and you have 9 mana crystals to use. So Jungle Giants not really much to do in this position. I also, you know, again, got to give the nod that every time Jungle Giants plays, they're peeking. Crypt played the card, but immediately peeked over to see Grimestreet Grifters' reaction. If they're happy, that means that they might have something they give away. Or perhaps if they're sad, that might tell something about their hand.
Yeah, and often when you're playing an individual tournament, it's easy for someone to keep a poker face. But when it's 3 players who are all trying to communicate, it's much harder to conceal your reactions to the things that are happening in the game.
True that. I mean, Jungle Giants are looking at each other and also on the other side of the tavern a lot more. And Grimestreet Grifters seems like they've never broken eye contact with the screen, just constantly looking down and focused on it. And they've been talking about setting up its Bone Mare for a while, and we know that Jungle Giants, you heard it from Firebat, we need a swing turn. We need to decisively lock them out, and we can't just like try to get Mind Control Tech for bare minimum value. We need to Mind Control Tech, play Spreading Plague, or like Mind Control Tech swipe and swing the board.
Right, well, they're still not going for the Bone Mare. Ends up with a powerful turn with this Megasaur. Oof. And this is very tough for Jungle Giants to deal with.
Yeah.
They didn't have a Spreading Plague last turn, which Grimestreet Grifters clearly picked up on.
Oh, and now, great spread of the damage, too. So that way Jungle Giants can't effectively eliminate all the threats in one. If it buffed, say, the Vilefin Inquisitor, that would have been an easy snipe.
Yeah, now Ultimate Infestation, clearly a powerful card, but what do you remove with it? You remove a 1-drop, obviously a very buffed 1-drop, but you're still leaving 17 damage in play.
Right. With only 20 life, so you might as well be as good as dead to a lot of cards that Murloc Paladin has. This was excellently set up from Grimestreet Grifters, and you can hear that they were accounting for a lot of possibilities as well. Like, well, you know, they didn't play anything on turn 8. Do they have Spreading Plague? What's the best board to set up for our Bone Mare in tandem with that? Can we close the game in 2 turns to make sure Ultimate Infestation doesn't swing the game? Let's go ahead and listen into what could be the last turn here of Jungle Giants' game.
The rest are
not
awful.
very good.
There we go. Hey.
That's good. Oh, Raynet's smiling. We're dead. We're totally dead.
Okay. Sure. Maybe not. Nah, he's going fast. We're dead.
Yeah, we're dead.
Bone Mare. Yep.
Super dead.
Ah, well.
Damn.
You do what you can.
I lost to Raynet. This sucks.
Yeah. I guess we should have tempoed MC Tech.
Wow, it seems like Jungle Giants took that loss personally.
Well, you know, we talked about how this was a match of sort of Hearthstone from ages ago, Crypt against Raynet, and it looked like Crypt did not want to lose that one.
Yeah, good job by Grimestreet Grifters. And now we go to the ace match of this best of 3. And we will find out who will take the series when we come back. More Hearthstone Invitational right after this.
Don't stray too far away from the fire, my friends. There's more tales to tell at the Hearthstone Inn-vitational!
back, everybody, to the Hearthstone Invitational 2017. We're currently tied 1 game apiece. Grifters. And with 1 game remaining, whoever takes this will be a pretty crucial victory killer in Jungle Giants.
Take 5 with Team 5.
Favorite hero entrance quote? You got one?
Let's see.
Oh, geez. Gosh, I wish I came prepared.
This is a really simple one, but the way Garrosh says the greetings, where he's like, greetings. Greetings. And I also say that to my wife a lot of times now, which I think is hilarious. Greetings.
The light will burn you. Is that what he says?
The light shall burn you.
The light shall burn you.
What is your favorite line of dialogue?
No one experiences this except in rare circumstances.
Vaporization commencing.
Vaporization commencing.
Disciple of Cthulhu. It's so funny because he says, Cthulhu, Cthulhu, Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, Cthulhu, Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, Cthulhu, Cthulhu. That was the best I could do.
The way I greet people now is, well met. Well met. It's changed my way that I interact with friends. It definitely changes the way I talk.
If there's one sound that I definitely can't do, it's a Murloc. I don't know that.
Let the hunt begin. Let the hunt begin. It sets the tone of battle perfectly. It instills a little fear in your opponent. It's a little rude, which I like.
Ragnaros is a really special one, like, by fire be purged.
By fire be purged.
Probably Mysterious Challenger.
Who am I? None of your business.
Who am I? None of your business. You made me growl like a demon. Thank you. What's your favorite Innkeeper line?
It's I don't think I can do this one, but it's the legendary. Like I think it's everyone's favorite Innkeeper line. When you open a letter, like, "Wah! Legendary!" Like everyone remembers that line. I just totally butchered it.
Whoa, legendary!
Wow, give me a Chilean sea bass. He's too excited. He doesn't seem like that, right? He seems like he'd be a beer and a steak kind of guy, but no, he actually really loves fish, Chilean sea bass specifically.
Welcome back to the Hearthstone Invitational. I haven't seen that video in a long time, and it's just fun to, of course, dive into the Warcraft or the Hearthstone lore in tandem with Warcraft. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen, of course, with Kobold's upcoming expansion. It's going to be really fun to see what they've got. So if you guys are at BlizzCon, of course, make sure to stop by the Hearthstone Tavern, one of the busiest spots. They've got music. You can meet some devs and also play some Hearthstone. So it's going to be a really fun time. And if you guys are joining us just now, we're currently tied in a series, 1 game apiece, with the Grimestreet Grifters and the Jungle Giants. Winner of this will go backstage as the victor.
Yeah, and this is a pretty key match because in order to really stay alive in the tournament, the Grimestreet Grifters will need to win this match, I believe. I believe if they lose this one, it could be very difficult for them to actually make the next day.
Difficult, but not impossible.
Not possible.
One team has to be last between the Grimestreet Grifters and the big-time Buccaneers. Take a look at what's coming up here for Patra, who's representing not just the Grimestreet Grifters, but also Asia Pacific and New Zealand. She was one of the main members of the Hearthstone Global Games team. And the package that you see here in the Miracle Rogue or the Temple Rogue is something that I like a lot, which is Cairn, Barnes, and the ability to follow up on sticky minions on the board. I really like the late game package. It almost becomes just a straight up mid-range deck at this point. People used to categorize it as aggro, but I like the more mid-range centric.
And Firebat is playing the Murloc Paladin. We just saw Reynad pilot to a win in the previous match, though this matchup is a lot worse for the Murloc deck. Playing against Jade Druid, you get a lot of time to get your Murloc synergies online, whereas against Temple Rogue, you're fighting against backstabs, you're fighting against the Rogue hero power. Lots of things that can break up your Murloc synergy.
All right, well, let's see what happens in Game 3. Can Jungle Giants go 2-0 and join the Chillbait Crusaders in day number 2, potentially in the finals as well, if they're able to close it out? We'll have to see the game scores and the treasure scores at the end of the day. Now, the opening mulligan does tend to seem that the Murloc Paladin has a better start. Rockpool Hunter, one of the better things. And also, Rallying Blade seems to hit most of the Rogue early game threats as well. So definitely a good mix of options there. Grimestreet Grifters, though, their hands looking kind of awkward because it requires a lot of combos in order to really get it going.
Yeah, and Grimestreet Grifters, obviously playing Rogue, would be much happier to have the coin. In this instance, the coin does a lot to enable SI Agent, Vilespine Slayer. But instead, they're going to have to try to find other cards to turn those on early on.
Yeah, I mean, Jungle Giants' debate here is pretty much if they want to keep the weapon. I think it's definitely an ideal tool to have in matchups, especially one that is so board-centric early on. Murloc Paladin is very bad at fighting behind the board. You've seen a couple of them put in Consecrations, but in Firebat's list, he doesn't have it. And it's a very common thing that you just, once you win the board back from Murloc Paladin, it's almost a game over for you.
All right, well, the Swashbuckler from the Grifters, hey, it gets them a Murloc. So both of them are playing Murloc decks now.
There you go, Murlocs, Pirates, Assassins.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's got pretty much an eclectic group of personalities, very much like this tournament in general. Jungle Giants picks up Hydrologist, so that's another option they have at the disposal, because right now, it seems like anything they put out will just die to a guaranteed hero power from your opponent.
It's true, though your opponent hero powering and then losing their 2 1-drops, or either their 2 pirates, is pretty important here.
Okay.
Coining out the rock pool forces your opponent to play reactively rather than develop their own board as well.
I like it. Oh my goodness.
And this actually makes the fact that the Rockpool Hunter came down a big deal, because if Grimestreet Grifters decide, okay, I want to get Keleseth online as quickly as possible, they have to forgo killing the Rockpool Hunter.
Yeah, that is some spot-on analysis, Kibler, and it seems Grimestreet Grifters has to struggle with exactly that, and Jungle Giants on point. It's just complicated a little bit, and as a result, sticks a Murloc, which helps guarantee this Rockpool Hunter. And I mean, that curve for the Murloc Paladin was good from the beginning, but also Rogue's piecing together quite the hand as well. Keleseth on 2, can't be understated how important that is.
Yeah, it's extremely powerful, though it is much more powerful if Patches is still in your deck. The fact that Patches is out of their deck means that the Grimestreet Grifters now need to actually draw cards they can play in order to get value from the Keleseth ability. For instance, they'd love to draw a Tar Creeper next turn, something that they can play on curve, that they can take advantage of the Keleseth buff immediately. Otherwise, they're still sort of giving up some power here by having played the Keleseth, and they could fall behind in tempo.
All right, well, let's go ahead and start tuning into the teams. Grimestreet Grifters has to win back this board, but if they do, they have an opportunity to potentially swing the game.
Oh, that did not work when I tapped it.
Because your hands are tiny.
Deckhand into 3/3.
Yeah, but we want to run both of the minions in, so don't take an extra point of damage.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Nice.
Easy.
All right, you guys ready for this, Karen? They think they got cheesed when we drew Kelseth.
Why? What were their reactions?
I don't know, despair, disappointment.
Only weapon.
But when we play Barnes,
Okay. Barnes into.
Reynad is trying to ask Patra for the alley-oop, but she just won't give it to him. She's like, "Oh, what's gonna happen when we play Barnes?" And Reynad, he's got the most witty one-liner prepared. She's just like, "Okay, we'll play Barnes." Anyways, what are you done? I just love the shutdown there, Reynad.
I also love that Reynad is focusing on just causing his opponent's misery rather than what the best outcome would be and what the best play is. He's just, we're just going to make you guys hate your life.
It makes sense because his favorite class has always been Warlock, and it's the Void that has just grown. There's no happiness, only darkness that continues to grow and consume your opponents.
Which is why it was so ironic he was on Team Light.
Oh, yes, and that was, and Crypt too, of course, considering that he is the Salt Baron as well. Lots of irony from October Brawl. Jungle Giants just going for the Hydrologist. Just setting up the weapon isn't exactly great because you know your opponent's capable of the Barnes, and this sets up a Murloc for the War Leader, but here we go. This is the opportunity that Grimestreet Grifters were talking about. I want to tune right back in and listen to what they're saying.
But like decently strong.
I was really excited to skillfully recruit them with Barnes,
Same,
but
but
I think that Firefly draw changes it. I think we go Firefly SI now, because even if it's...
I agree too. This 2-3 is pretty good here. So
yeah, it's just more stats. Like
should be Redemption or
Kodo.
This guy's toast.
All right.
All right, so.
We could swing. I don't think there's a reason to do it this turn over next turn.
Yeah, maybe we can do it next turn.
Yeah.
We would just pass back then.
Just pass.
Just in case it's not Noble Sacrifice, we want to make sure we're hitting a minion with the dagger.
So it's Noble Sack or I for an I.
It's not, it's not Getaway Kodo or Redemption or Repentance or I for an I. So, yeah, I mean, it must be Noble Sacrifice, right? There's no other...
Wow. Well, we tuned in for an opportunity to listen to Jungle Giants, and it's just silence, just trying to get through the plays and win back the board. And Grimestreet Grifters is turning the board slowly into a bigger advantage with every single card being played.
Oh, now is the Barnes time, though. We tried to listen into the despair. Let's see what's coming up. All right, Tar Creeper.
Yeah.
No despair.
No despair, but honestly, it's not even that bad because it can kind of protect some of his other minions from getting value traded into by the weapon.
It's true.
Because you want to basically protect the most stats, and Barnes still summoned 4 stats, so as a 4/5 too, which is very, very good for its mana cost. So one of the things about Kel'Thuzad is that it doesn't buff anything in your hand. But it actually, the fact that Swashbuckler gives you light in the darkness to buff something in your hand actually ends up working out okay. So everything is on point in terms of the theme. Jungle Giants is setting up for a big Cobalt Scale Bane play. It's still going to look awkward because it looks like Rogue is going to be able to dictate the trades. And they've caught on to the secret as well. That Noble Sacrifice basically didn't do anything.
Well, it does protect the Murloc here, which can just trade into the Tar Creeper at least.
Okay.
Ooh, Finja is the draw for Jungle Giants. That is a card that can really help swing back the board in their favor, especially in combination with a War Leader to buff the additional Murlocs.
Huh, yeah. I mean, Cobalt Scalebane looked like pretty much the play the previous turn. But now, perhaps something else different. I'm trying to think about how good the Finja here is in this position, but they don't have a way to guarantee the buff. But at the same time, your opponent still has a bunch of small minions left, like a Swashbuckler. So you can kill that, play a big wide board, and then Rogue can't sweep everything up at the same time.
I have to say, I'm kind of distracted by the fact that Crip is currently the shortest person on Jungle Giants.
Well, listen, man, as much as we require every member of the team to stand up, Crip, it's actually kind of a miracle that he's able to travel, considering that he was in the hospital not too long ago. So we're very appreciative that he's able to even come out here.
I think he heard you.
Did he?
He was just looking up.
I was saying nice thing. A nice shot of some fans. Patrick's got some fans. Don't miss Lethal Mom. Is this misconnections here? Patrick's daughter came to see her at BlizzCon?
I don't think so. I don't think so, but
It's more of a metaphor, if you will. So I did not know Pather was a mother.
All right, Light in the Darkness, Spellbreaker can be very powerful against the threat of Spike-Rich Steed out of the Murloc Paladin deck, and that is the pick for Grimestreet Grifters.
It's actually kind of an insane draw. Like the Silence is a big reason why Silence even came back in the meta during Journey to Ungoro was from the Paladin class. Spike-Rich Steed, Tyrion Fordring, and now even Bone Mare is definitely a worthy candidate for Silence.
And the Tar Creeper here is a very important draw for Grimestreet Grifters because it does protect all of their small minions from this Finja. And Jungle Giants now, they don't really have a particularly exciting play this turn and are really getting pushed around by the superior board presence of the Grifters.
Right, and what we're talking about, Murloc Paladin lost the board, and now they just kind of play catch-up. And I'm looking at what's going on right now. I think Jungle Giants might be just straight up dead. If Grimestreet Grifters draws a little bit of extra damage. They're very close. Tar Creeper only becomes 2, so they'll have 2, 6, 8, 14, 15.
Because the Leroy is buffed, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry, 16.
So it's 16 with the dagger. So yeah, they
Very
are,
close.
in fact, 1 damage off lethal here. SI Agent, they do not have the mana to use that plus the Leroy. Well, Grifters are very close. Let's see how they're trying to close the deal.
Turn, heal, play, whatever, like.
Yeah, because we have SI already,
So
right?
do we even kill the whelps, I guess? That's the question. We have to kill them, because otherwise the 6 health minion's too easy to kill.
Okay.
Like, if you just make him
Guys,
to.
we don't have much time.
Okay,
Like,
play Leroy.
Yeah,
I think.
play
Do
Leroy.
you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like we can just kill him even
Go face.
whatever he does.
We got
Dagger.
face with the big guys. Yeah, just try putting him to 2. So.
Yeah, putting him to 2 and then just kill one dragon.
That goes face. The one
Yeah,
goes face.
and dagger hit the one.
Nice.
Nice.
This is looking like Jungle Giants' last turn here, and even though they were up 1-0 very early on, I think Grimestreet Grifter has made the complete comeback.
Yeah, with that SI Agent in the hand, the Grifters have the 2 damage they need to finish Jungle Giants off. No healing available to Firebat here. Going to dig for something to find a way out of this, but there is no escape.
I mean, yeah, the Finja can draw Murlocs, but I'm not remembering a Murloc with Taunt or Poisonous.
Well, Taunt doesn't do anything. There's just an SI Agent waiting in the hand.
Yeah,
Just
you're
2
right.
damage to the face, it's just going to end it no matter what. And yeah, the Jungle Giants recognize their game is lost, and it will be the Grimestreet Grifters who pick up their first treasure of the tournament.
And a nice group hug and smiles all around. You're witnessing history. Raynad smiling on the BlizzCon stage, and they have evened up their score as well. Jungle Giants looked prime to be able to go 2-0, guarantee themselves a spot in the next day, but now the field is wide open.
Yep, both these teams have a shot for the stage tomorrow, and the big-time Buccaneers are going to need to pick up a win to avoid being eliminated.
They've got quite the underdog story, because no one from our caster roster picked any of the Grimestreet Grifters to do well, and now they're within striking distance to potentially even challenge a top spot here, taking down Jungle Giants with their treasure. Raven is waiting with our winners for a couple of words.
Congratulations, team. It must feel pretty good to actually get a win on the board and get a treasure. So do you think after a bit of a ropey start, you're going to be good for the rest of the tournament?
Yeah, we just have to win our next game, and we should be set on to day 2.
Okay, and about the next game, it's going to be Excavated Treasures. Are you feeling confident? We've heard a lot of teams actually talk about, the feel good in Standard or feel good for Wild. How do you feel about this format?
We actually put the most effort into Excavated Treasures, and we think that's our best format by far. So we're feeling confident.
Okay, nice. And were there any ropey moments in that game? Was anything a little bit scary for you? I think it was one of the first series we saw go 1-1.
Well, yeah. Every game was pretty tough, and like we had to make decisions, and like it was pretty hard, but like we just did it.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun watching you. So congratulations again, guys. You can get ready for your next match. We're going to go back over to Frodan and Kiblet.